I could fit him right away with anybody. So, just watching the guys their first 14 games. And I missed the first 14, just watching them and seeing. I was just putting myself in position, while I was watching the games of how I can help the team and how I can be successful to help those guys. I still, was able to gain a lot of eyes when I'm driving the ball or have the ball, things of that nature. And I had a big fella down there, a big five down there, and got Gabe right here, obviously, and Jake, our second team. We got out there and kind of pushed the lead up. It was good.
Is it really that outrageous to suggest the Lakers might possess the greatest ball-handling big three the NBA has ever seen? Because when you break it down, there simply aren't many teams, past or present, that can rival the combination of shot creation, pace control, versatility, and offensive composure these three bring every single night. They don't just score, they dictate how the entire game unfolds. If you're looking for a modern comparison, the first group that comes to mind is the Brooklyn Nets trio of Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. On paper, that team should have been unstoppable. Honestly, they probably would have won a championship if Kyrie hadn't rolled his ankle on Giannis Antetokounmpo's foot during that brutal postseason matchup. That whole saga could fuel a 3-hour documentary by itself, but that's a different conversation. When we're speaking strictly about adaptability, fluid offense, and the ability to manufacture buckets from nothing, this Lakers trio exists on its own tier. And I'm saying that as someone who loves James Harden, genuinely loves his game, I still consider Harden's 2018 playoff run with the Rockets, yes, the infamous missed 27 straight threes series against Golden State, to be as impressive as many actual title-winning seasons. But even with that admiration, I've got to keep it real. Bias can't override reality. This Lakers core is terrifying. With LeBron James defying logic and becoming the first player in league history to reach season number 23, the window isn't closing. If anything, they're sharpening. And the rest of the NBA should be very, very nervous.
It's LeBron James. At the end of the day, is if not the greatest player ever, one of the greatest players ever. He has the ability to come up to somebody and bring their confidence up. All these people that is on our team or really in the league grew up Brown fans. So the ability that he has to do that, the ability that he has every single day to come into the gym with a smile on his face, happy, never in a bad mood, always joking around, is
Reeves, Luka, and LeBron create offense like it's coded into their DNA. Effortless, instinctive, automatic. They don't just score for themselves, they orchestrate movement, spacing, and rhythm for everyone around them. That's the difference between individual talent and transformative basketball. In today's NBA, the teams that win big aren't just loaded with stars. They're powered by playmakers who elevate an entire system. But even with a perfectly synced trio, every championship team needs something else. Structure, balance, and role players willing to do the dirty work without ever being in the spotlight. The grinders, the screen setters, the rebounders, the defenders, basketball history, and even Team USA know that ignoring those guys can blow up everything. Talent sparks success, but balance sustains it. And that's exactly where the Lakers fell apart last season. After the infamous Luka Doncic trade, the team's defensive foundation vanished. J.J. Redick was suddenly forced to patch a massive interior hole on both ends of the floor. Losing Anthony Davis, one of the league's most dominant rim protectors, wasn't just noticeable, it was catastrophic. Your paint defense is going to crumble, and when Jackson Hayes becomes the fallback option, your margin for error evaporates. The numbers still looked strong in the regular season, mostly because the Lakers played with playoff-level urgency every single night. But once the postseason hit, every opponent matched that intensity. The gap closed instantly, the defensive illusion disappeared, and suddenly everyone was asking the same question. Wait, where did all that magic go?
Luka, you obviously had a lot of admiration for LeBron and had watched him play growing up and stuff like that, but I'd only seen Austin a couple times a year when the Lakers would come through Dallas. It seems like the two of you guys are finding chemistry in pretty good ways on the court. What do you like about the way he approaches the game?
I mean, this guy just scored 30 in his 4 game in 5 days. That explains everything. But he's an amazing player. For him to go undrafted is unbelievable. And, it's not easy to go undrafted and play at this level. And it's amazing just to be by his side.
The truth is, effort alone doesn't magically turn Austin Reeves into a lockdown defender or transform Luka Doncic into prime Shane Battier. Hustle matters. Sometimes it even wins games, but there's a limit. When the roster isn't built with balance, effort eventually hits a wall. And after last season's defensive collapse, restoring that balance instantly became the Lakers' top offseason priority. But for Rob Pelinka, the summer turned out surprisingly quiet, at least in terms of headline-grabbing moves. No superstar trades, no league-shaking free agency signings, no fireworks. Instead, the front office brought in Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton. Both are recognizable names with real resumes, but neither arrived anywhere close to peak form. The fact that both joined through buyouts said everything without saying anything. Even their biggest supporters started asking the uncomfortable question: do they still have enough left to matter? Rumors swirled instantly. Reports claimed Ayton had checked out mentally and lost his competitive edge. Smart's Defensive Player of the Year award was suddenly treated like a relic from a forgotten era. And then, as always, came the familiar chorus of LeBron jokes. People insisting he's basically 50 years old and too ancient to carry a franchise anymore. Sure, some of the skepticism wasn't completely baseless, but the negativity surrounding this team was relentless. Every sports show, every trending topic, every viral clip online had something critical to say about the Lakers. Analysts questioned the roster, the chemistry, the durability, the direction, everything. And with Pelinka still scrambling to improve the team's perimeter defense, the pressure on J.J. Redick, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves grew heavier by the minute. They had to prove that even if imperfect, even if doubted, this Lakers squad still had the talent, intelligence, and offensive firepower to be one of the most dangerous teams in the NBA. And so far, they haven't wasted a single second proving it. The ball movement looks sharper. The spacing finally makes sense. The confidence feels real. And for the first time in a long time, the Lakers aren't just surviving the noise, they're silencing it.
It seems like you're more content at this stage in your career to I'm going to pick and choose my spots about when I'm the primary creator.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it comes with trust. It comes with trust too. Obviously last year in the Memphis series, AR gained a lot of trust from me. But also had trust in him to make the plays. I believe it was game 3, maybe, or game 2. I think they had home court. Yeah, they had home court. So it was either game 1 or game 2, where in the fourth quarter, it's just like, AR, let's go win it for us. And I wanted to see, I play a lot of chess, not in real life. I've actually, a lot of people have told me you should play chess because you'll be great. I've never played chess, but in my mind, in theory, I feel like I play chess on the floor.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I could get AR and instill AR and that confidence in that fourth quarter to make plays and win that game, it was just going to pay dividends for the rest of my time with him and the rest of his time when I'm not with him.
Yes, the Lakers have had a few rough outings recently, including that frustrating loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder, where Luka finished with just 19 points on 7 for 20 shooting. But let's be honest, OKC is bulldozing nearly every team in their path this season. Losing to the Thunder barely feels like a failure anymore. They're operating at a terrifying level, building something that looks unstoppable both now and long term. I admire what Oklahoma City is doing almost as much as I fear it. Seriously, how did the league allow this Thunder roster to form in the first place? If you missed yesterday's breakdown on Ball Stories, go watch it. We dove deep into that exact question. Without LeBron James, the Lakers just look disjointed. Even at 40, he remains the engine that keeps everything humming. His absence against OKC was felt in every possession, every offensive stall, every missed read. That loss served as a reality check for a team that started 8-3, but had quietly been slipping. A few nights earlier, they were blown out by 20 points against an Atlanta Hawks squad, missing both Jalen Johnson and Trae Young, and that game exposed some cracks people were ignoring. Against the Thunder, Luka Doncic faced one of the most suffocating defenses in basketball. OKC blitzed him aggressively on nearly every ball screen, forcing turnovers and rushing possessions. As the announcer pointed out, sometimes a tiny deflection changed the entire play. And to be fair, not all of that falls on Luka. Jared Vanderbilt struggled making decisions in the short roll, and against a defense as disciplined and long as OKC, that's a recipe for disaster. Which brings us to why DeAndre Ayton's role could become absolutely crucial moving forward. His size, touch, and patience may be exactly what the Lakers' offense needs when it starts to wobble. After the game, JJ Redick didn't sugarcoat anything. He flat out admitted how desperate they were for LeBron's presence, saying, "We couldn't score against his own." Redick even revealed that during several stretches, all he could think was how simple life would have been if LeBron were available to camp at the high post and dismantle the defense like he always has. And honestly, he's right. People forget this, but no matter how many jokes get made about his age, LeBron James is still the heartbeat of this Lakers roster. When he's locked in, directing traffic, diagnosing defensive coverages, firing cross-court lasers, and getting whatever shot he wants, every opponent in the league feels it. There was a ton of conversation about what he'd look like post-sciatica, and even more doubt about whether he could still seamlessly coexist with Austin Reeves and Luka. But LeBron shut all of it down immediately, channeling vintage James Harden-style point guard energy from the Brooklyn days. He fully embraced the role of elite floor general. In his season debut against the struggling Utah Jazz, LeBron played 30 minutes and finished with 11 points, 12 assists, 1 steal, and just a single turnover. Forget the scoring. The 12 assists told the real story. He controlled the game like a maestro, always one step ahead, feeding teammates in perfect rhythm. And he didn't even need to score big, because everyone else stepped up. Austin Reeves poured in 26. Luka erupted for 37. DeAndre Ayton added 20. Reeves' performance stood out most, especially considering all the noise and criticism that's been thrown his way recently. He played confident, composed, and like the exact complementary piece LeBron has been waiting for.
We was having this argument the other day. The run that Reeves is going on, when those guys don't play, I think he had 42 3 nights in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Is it similar or better than what Jeremy Lin had? Oh. We had that debate.
Yeah. I'm going to say similar. You think it's better or similar?
He can play.
Uh-huh.
When the big man comes back, everything shifts back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
For me, Lin's
Like
sanity
I'm
was a
gonna
moment.
Like I'm going to put it in street terms. While the OG in jail, you're running.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but as soon as he come back home,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
understand what
You
I'm
got to give
saying?
it. Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of feel for Austin because he looks good, he's playing good, but when they have their full team come back, he's gonna be reverted back to standing in the corner, taking last second.
That's got to be tough.
It is.
Shaquille O'Neal recently hinted that LeBron James returning to the lineup might actually hurt Austin Reeves, saying he genuinely felt bad for him. In Shaq's eyes, LeBron's presence could push Reeves back into that same uncomfortable role he had at times last postseason, just standing in the corner, waiting to bail the team out with a last-second three. And honestly, it wasn't an out-of-pocket take. We all remember those Western Conference playoff possessions where Reeves barely touched the ball until there were 3 seconds left on the shot clock. That concern made sense. But then the Lakers played, and Reeves responded loud and clear. With a 26-point performance, he showed everybody that he's not fading into the background. Not now, not ever. Even with LeBron returning and immediately taking the reins of the offense like he has his entire career, Reeves looked comfortable, confident, and totally in rhythm. He wasn't just a bystander. He wasn't just spotting up. He was part of the engine, part of the identity, part of what made the Lakers' offense look so smooth. Now, yes, the season is still young, and LeBron just got back into the mix. None of this guarantees perfect chemistry for 82 games. But even in small sample sizes, you can sometimes see the blueprint forming. And right now, this one looks promising. Like LeBron himself said recently, people continue to forget how versatile he is. They sleep on how easily he can adjust his playstyle, even after 20-plus NBA seasons. And honestly, the Lakers might be abusing the system at this point. They go on a run, with LeBron orchestrating everything. He gets a rest. And suddenly Luka Doncic checks in to replace him. As a Pelicans fan, I'm not even pretending. Watching that hurts. My team might be one of the worst squads in the league right now, and we don't even own our own first-round pick. Meanwhile, the Lakers casually rotate between LeBron freaking James and Luka Doncic like it's a normal Tuesday. That is not normal. That should not be legal. If the Lakers are serious, and I mean truly serious, about chasing a championship this season, they cannot afford to let Austin Reeves drift. They need him emphasized. They need him empowered. They need him weaponized. Because if this team wants to reach its ceiling, Reeves has to stay locked in and aggressive. He has to stay the version of himself who averaged 32 points earlier in the season. The guy who casually dropped 41 on Portland. The one who hung 51 on Sacramento. The dude who threw down 28 points and 16 assists against Minnesota like it was nothing but cardio. When Reeves is in attack mode, everything else starts to align. The spacing improves dramatically because defenses can't recklessly double LeBron or Luka anymore. That forces opponents to defend the Lakers honestly, and almost nobody can survive that. The pick and roll with DeAndre Ayton suddenly becomes a real, calculated problem instead of a predictable possession. And off the ball, Reeves' cutting, shooting, and instincts punish defenders who take even a half-second nap. He never stops moving, and defenders hate that. Now, to be clear, nobody's saying he needs to chase those massive scoring outbursts every night. That's not realistic, nor is it necessary. What matters is the mindset. When he's assertive, threatening, ready to flip a game in 2 plays, the Lakers transform into something completely different. They become unpredictable. They become flexible. They become dangerous. They no longer rely on Luka or LeBron performing nightly miracles just to survive. Instead, opposing defenses suddenly have to game plan for a 3-headed offensive nightmare. And all 3 heads can beat you in totally different ways. And strategically, it just makes sense to let Reeves carry more of the load during the regular season. Luka has already dealt with multiple injuries in his career. LeBron, who turns 41 before the season ends, began the year recovering from one. Keeping everybody healthy and fresh might actually be the Lakers' biggest competitive advantage heading into April, May, and hopefully June. Letting Reeves cook while the older stars pace themselves could be the smartest long-term blueprint this franchise has had in years. Because every title-contending team needs that reliable secondary playmaker. The guy who becomes a steady B option next to the established superstars. And Reeves looks ready to be that guy. He doesn't need validation, and he no longer needs permission. He has the talent, the confidence, and the resume to prove it. That's what makes this roster so intriguing. It gives the Lakers multiple offensive identities instead of one predictable formula. There was one play in particular that perfectly captured that evolving dynamic. One of the primary creators grabbed a rebound, sprinted down the floor, whipped a no-look pass, then got the ball back immediately and delivered another no-look dime to a teammate for the finish. The reaction said everything. Pure joy, pure trust, pure chemistry. The guy finishing that play was basically thinking, man, this is the life. And honestly, can you blame him? Then there was another sequence, just as telling, where one of the stars challenged a shot at the rim, another secured the rebound, then instantly launched a deep outlet pass in stride, like a quarterback throwing a 40-yard bomb. Seconds later, the ball turned into a clean layup and another assist. No hesitation, no confusion, no wasted motion. That's what chemistry looks like. That's what a real offensive identity looks like. It's crisp, fast, instinctive, and sustainable. What makes all of this even more encouraging is how quickly the new teammates have blended in. But that also shouldn't be surprising. One of these guys has been catching alley-oops since he was in elementary school camps. He's practically been training for this his entire life. And now, those same lob finishes are happening on NBA floors, on national broadcasts, with thousands of fans losing their minds. Time genuinely flies. And honestly, at this point, you have to wonder, will LeBron James ever retire? Every few years, people start whispering that this might finally be it. And then he comes back looking stronger, smarter, sharper, and somehow even more in control. He might actually pull a Tom Brady and play until he's 45. Or maybe he'll reinvent the concept of retirement entirely and just never leave. His passing alone in this game was a masterclass. And the wild part? Most people still underestimate that part of his game. Sure, LeBron can still score anytime he feels like it. He can dominate physically whenever necessary. But facilitating, reading the floor like a chessboard, manipulating defenses, whipping passes nobody else even sees, that's where he finds his rhythm. And always has. You just have to surround him with teammates who can also make plays, and suddenly the game becomes effortless. We saw it in 2020 during the Lakers' championship run. LeBron averaged a career-high 2 assists because that roster was complete, balanced, and trustworthy. And honestly, you could make the case that this current group of Lakers might actually rival that roster in overall talent and creativity. But the biggest concern from his season debut wasn't the passing or the chemistry or the late game execution. It was the defense. The Lakers gave up 71 points in the first half to the Utah Jazz. 71. That's unacceptable. That pace would have put Utah at 142 points by the final buzzer, which is ridiculous considering they normally average somewhere around 119 a night. And yes, I get it. Utah can score. I know firsthand. I have Lauri Markkanen in fantasy. But still, 71 at halftime? That's excessive. Even after slowing down in the second half and finishing with 126 points, they still scored more than what the top-ranked defensive teams usually average. Keontae George went nuclear. And while it may sound like nitpicking, the Lakers' defensive problems are getting harder to ignore. Last season, LeBron helped patch up a lot of those issues. We saw him chase down blocks, switch onto quicker guards, contest everything, and protect the rim like he was 28 again. But now, heading toward 41 and coming off an injury, it's fair to wonder whether he can still carry that same defensive burden. And if he can't, someone else needs to step up. That might end up being Aiden. It might be Vanderbilt. It might even be Reeves. Or maybe, just maybe, the Lakers' plan this season is to simply outscore everybody. And honestly, that might work. They currently sit around 12th in offensive rating, and that number is almost guaranteed to rise once the chemistry fully locks in. The real question is whether the defense improves or continues trending downward. Either way, it's going to be fascinating to watch, because that game gave us everything: chemistry, questions, adjustments, and flashes of undeniable greatness. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think this Lakers team actually has what it takes to win a championship? Or are they still missing something essential? And if you had to rank every team in the league, how many would you confidently put ahead of them? Whether just in the West or across the NBA? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to hear what you think. As always, I appreciate those of you who watch, comment, debate, and stay engaged. You're the reason these videos exist. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Ball Stories so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, there's plenty more drama, wild moments, and deep dive basketball stories on the way. Alright, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.